Hey guys, and welcome to Petrol Ped. Now I think some of the most beautiful cars ever made came from the 1960s, and in particular came from Alfa Romeo. In fact, I think one of the most beautiful cars ever made is the 33 Tipo, which is here. I'm here in Italy today with Alfa Romeo, and I wanted to start this video with the inspiration to the car that we're going to take a deep dive into. This, the 33 Tipo, a beautiful, beautiful piece of automotive art. Now, I've only ever seen this particular car when it's on display in the Alfa Romeo Museum, and normally you can't get anywhere near it, and to have it so close is a real special treat. First things first, it is tiny in footprint, but it's the curvaceous, beautiful, classic lines of this car that I absolutely love. Whether it's the front, the bulges over the front wheels, the beautiful headlamps. You come round here, you've got the intakes into the engine at the back, and then the four exhausts coming out the back. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing, a design icon. So how on earth do you put a modern day twist on such a beautiful car? Well, that's exactly what Alfa Romeo have done with the new 33 Stradale. And in this video, we're going to get to take a look at the car, have an understanding of the design story, the inspiration behind the car. But this is perfection. Now I want to start our look at the 33 Stradale with the start of its evolution. And the guys at Alfa Romeo have put these posters on the wall showing that design process. These are some of the very first sketches, the initial genesis of the design. And it's quite interesting that Alfa have worked a great deal with owners and the Alfisti to understand the kind of things that they want from a car like this. And when these sketches were shown, nobody put any money down, nobody had any interest in the car. I think they were just a bit too conceptual. But if we wander this way, we now start to get a little bit more detail into the design. You can actually start to see some of the design elements. They're still quite conceptual in drawing and a little bit out there. But interestingly, with these two pictures here, by the time you're at this stage, 3 customers put money in. 3 customers said, I'm having the car. By the time we get to these stages, all the cars were sold. So even at this stage, all the cars are sold. Now it's probably worth saying all the cars means just 33 cars. The word or the number 33 plays an important part in this car. But I'll just walk you can start to see the development of, in this case, some of the internals, the instrument binnacle. Here we can start to see some more details of the front of the car, the front lights start to take their shape, the rear styling, and then you start to see this iconic kind of clamshell design with the gull-wing doors. I just love walking through, and you can almost see the designer's thought process. We're now getting to a picture that looks almost like the finished article. And then the last thing before we go and actually look at the real car is these final designs here pretty much are nailed down. But I wanted to just briefly talk about the wheel design. Because again, they went to the customers and said, what kind of wheel design are we interested in? If you look at this one here, it's very similar to the wheels that are on the 33 Tipo, with quite small tele-tile design. This wheel's much more like the car, or the wheel that ended up on the car. And then this one's a bit out there, but apparently this is getting quite a lot of love by some of the people that have got money down on the car. But that design evolution, now a bit later on in this film, I'm going to hopefully be joined by one of the designers to talk more about the car, but I'm sure you are dying to go and have a look because it's parked just in the next bay. Wow. It's very difficult to get across to you on camera just how beautiful this car is. Just how sculpted, the lines, the detail. And I'm going to try and do my best to walk you around the car and share some of that with you. I think for me the first thing is there's a very high bar set with the Tipo that we've just looked at. It's such a beautiful car. It's so classic in its design. And this modern day interpretation of that car is so beautiful. I want to pick out a few key features that I think are notable. I guess the first thing is the lights at the front. When I first saw photographs of this, by the way, you see pictures, and I've seen all the pictures when it was released, and the photographs don't do this car justice at all. The lights, for me, they didn't quite look right on the photograph. When you see it in person and you see it in the context with the Tipo next door, they are absolutely bang on the money. But there's some really nice little details. Each of these individual lights around the outside, guess what? There are 33 of them. And you've got this kind of daytime running light here, and the interior detail of this light cluster is something else. You've then got the central iconic Alfa Romeo grille, but this is a work of art in its own right. It's machined alloy, it's beautiful. There's the normal quandary about where you put your number plate, but I guess that's a challenge that the 33 owners of this car are going to have to come across themselves. If we wander around the side of the car, you can almost start to see the airflow. You've got on the front splitter some lovely details just here. The bonnet has vents and louvres in it. You can see the air being guided down the side of the car. Next standout design piece for me, these beautiful teledial wheels. They are absolutely stunning. It had to be, right? You had to have teledial wheels on this Alfa Romeo, and you have the quadrifoglio badge on the door. Just beautiful. Really love this carbon fiber sill with a big blade on here coming all the way down the side of the car, and then this intake here. So you've got the sculpting of the bodywork and then these big carbon fiber blades that just direct the airflow into the engine at the back. The engine at the back is similar to the engine you'd find in a Giulia Quadrifoglio. It's been bored out, so it's a 3-litre twin turbo producing 620 bhp, although interestingly they're only making 33 of these. They're doing the petrol twin turbo V6, but there's also an option for customers to choose full battery electric as well, and they're still not quite worked out the design configuration for the battery electric version, but absolutely stunning. So front 3/4 is beautiful. The rear of this car is something else, and perhaps my favorite view. So I think you'll agree the front of this car is beautiful, and it's a close call for me whether I prefer the front or the rear, but the rear is very, very special indeed. I guess there's a couple of standout features. The rear tail lights, just beautiful. 4 exhausts, there's a huge diffuser section, lots of carbon fiber. And it's one of these cars that you look at, it doesn't really need a big wing on the back. That would just be vulgar on this car. It's just so beautifully sculpted. You've got the engine that you can see in here, the high-level brake light. It's just a beautiful car from the rear, a beautiful car from the front. It's one of those cars that almost looks like it's going fast when it's stationary, when it's parked up. But if you think the outside is beautiful, the inside is very, very special, and we're allowed to sit in it. So let's jump on the inside behind the driver's steering wheel and just see what the cabin of this 33 Stradale is like, because it's up there with the outside. Now sadly this is a static model, but we are allowed to sit in it, and as cabins go, this is pretty special. There's lots of little touches. All of the dials are in Italian. You know, it doesn't say fuel, it says benzina, velocità. That's just so beautiful. But it's this brushed aluminium effect here on the dash and on this center console. It harks back to the Tipo 33. This switch gear here. If you look in the Tipo, it's exactly the same. And then these levers here for your gears for forward and reverse. And you've got some mode controls here. And then this beautiful quadrifoglio here. The detail is stunning, and what won't come across on camera is the smell in here is beautiful. But I will talk in a moment. There's something called the 33 Club. So basically, there's 3 base colors that this car can come in, but you can have any color you like and lots of trim specifications. but it's beautiful in here. There's some switches on the roof here, and then you've also got as the doors come down, you've got this glass roof here, exactly like the Tipo. It's just beautiful, absolutely stunning. And I can't imagine what it must be like driving this with that V6 on full chat behind you. The view out of the window, you've got the two bulges where the front wheels are to help you position the car on the road. It's quite something in here, absolutely mega. Now then guys, it is my great pleasure to introduce Bob Rumkus, who is Head of Exterior Design for the 33 Stradale. What a job.
Fantastic.
Unbelievable.
Dream job, dream project.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic, yeah.
So we've got one of the, if you like, the development cars, clay models here. And there was a few things I wanted to talk about because it's a very beautiful car to look at. But underneath that elegance, there's a massive amount of engineering, aerodynamics, all the things that you might well glue on with wings and downforce and aero. You've done all of that, but without any of the horrible aesthetics. You just still made it beautiful. I'd love you to talk us through some of your ideas and some of the things happening on the car.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Well, of course, the main target was to make something without active aerodynamics. So we wanted to really keep the pure beauty of the original one. And by doing that, we had to study the car many hours in the wind tunnel. And this is the model that we actually used to study these aerodynamics.
Yeah.
So also, if you see, there's a few changes on the latest version, the actual car. But we worked really a lot on the bonnet to make the airflow go into the side mirrors. And the side mirrors are actually shaped, the foot of the mirrors, to make the flow of the air go into the lateral air intake.
Wow.
And then actually, if we go back to the rear, then you can see that we combined also a very iconic feature of the original car, the air outlets. We combine them with the rear lights, and they make the air flow out of the car.
So this is to stop spoiling air and
yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Because you look at that on the finished car, and it just looks like a aesthetic design feature.
Yeah.
I guess there's a big hole there, but it's a proper bit of air.
It's absolutely functional. Yeah.
Yeah.
Every millimeter we perfected it, also to keep the sculpture, to keep something very sculptural and very voluptuous, let's say.
Yeah.
Romantic. We had to really tweak each millimeter so that it functions perfectly. There's a little bit of a spoiler in the back.
Yeah.
Just enough to work together, of course, with the massive diffuser that we built to have maximum downforce and minimum drag, of course. And the whole lower part is a technical carbon piece that is also perfected with the wings, with the air coming into the front underneath the headlamps.
Yeah.
Going into the side, flowing around the side, and going into the lateral air intake, also in the lower part. So yeah,
wow.
it all works perfectly at the end.
Now, one of the things, I mean, it's obviously an amazing project to be part of, but quite an intimidating thing to have to bring perhaps one of the most beautiful cars ever made into the 21st century. I mean, where did you start? What was the design brief was make that a modern day car. You must have all got into a room and went, oh no, what are we going to do now?
No, for sure. It was a massive challenge. It was, I think we all lost a few kilos during the process.
Yeah.
But it's such a beautiful car that also you cannot not do it. And I think also that Alfa Romeo is a brand that deserves these type of projects.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful car, so I think we have a very capable team also. Everybody from the top, from Imperato, is pushing massively to go for the best that we can. So the challenge was incredible. So we all were confident that we could find the best result possible. And,
well, I think you've smashed it because it's the most beautiful car I've seen in the last 10 years or so. Last question though, what's your favourite angle? We've been debating while we've been making the film today whether the front or the back. I'm a big fan of this kind of rear three-quarter, but then the front's very beautiful as well. What's your favourite?
I have to say that my favourite is the front.
Yeah.
I love how I think what we really captured is the expression of the car. To have something that is not too aggressive, to have something that really shows also the past, like the how do you say that in English? The regard, the eyes, what it expresses. And I think we have found the right sweet spot. I think of this type of expression. It's serious, It's timeless, I hope. And especially it's not too aggressive. It's quite human. It's quite.
It's funny, isn't it? A lot of modern day cars are very angular, and people say, "Oh, look at that aggressive front." And this it's a very kind of feminine, beautiful, curvy, voluptuous shape.
Absolutely. Yeah. We wanted to go actually away from the aggression and really into this more refined and gentle, but serious still.
Yeah. I mean, congratulations to you and all your team. I know you're a busy guy, but thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
I could talk to you about this car all day, but I shall let you go.
I would love to.
There you go, guys. What a car. Head of the design team. Bravo.
Thank you.
Now, it's safe to say, if you're buying one of only 33 cars, you can have pretty much anything you want. But there are 3 base colours, which you've got on these style forms just here. The blue I find really interesting. There is some heritage in that blue. This photograph here is a blue 33 Tipo. There's only one in that colour. I've never seen, I didn't even know a blue one existed. So that's where that blue comes from. But basically you can go to what's called the 33 Club. And there's a brilliant display here of all the different materials and the different choices, the customization options that you would have as a customer, from beautiful leathers and materials, Alcantara, there's literally anything goes. There is a caveat to that, anything goes as long as Alfa basically deem it to be acceptable and it looks nice. You can't go too out there, I guess. But it's just a stunning thing. You could have so much fun speccing one of these. Here's that lovely brushed aluminium that's on the dash inside the car. And then the final thing, if you're going on a road trip, you need some luggage. And over here is a set of customized luggage. Just beautiful. But what I really love are these suit carriers. And on here you've got co-pilota and pilota, pilot and co-pilot, driver and passenger. And I just think these are beautiful. And on them they've got the embossed 33 Stradale. They are stunning bits of luggage fitting for a stunning car. So my final thoughts on the Alfa Romeo 33 Stradale. It's rare that a car takes your breath away in terms of beauty. And that car has certainly done it for me, especially when it's there with the doors up. It's even better if you lift the 2 front and rear clamshells up. It looks like a transformer. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. But I actually think the design brief for Alfa Romeo to take such an iconic car and reimagine it, bring it into the 21st century was a very brave one. And I know there are only 33 being made. They're all sold, they're going to special customers. So I guess for the normal Alfisti, it's not an attainable car. However, there's plenty of trickle-down design and trickle-down technology that we'll see in this car that will end up in Alfa Romeo road cars. And who knows, maybe a more attainable sports car of that format, 2 seats, beautiful design, will appear. I think for Alfa Romeo, it was a case of, can they make a car like that? Is there a hunger, a desire, a market for a car like that? And considering all 33 have gone before they've even started production, I think the answer to that question is yes. The 33 Stradale goes into production in the summer next year with deliveries in the early autumn, and I cannot wait to see it moving, hear it moving, and who knows, maybe one day even drive it myself. It's beautiful. But I'm going to leave you with that image of that car spinning round. I hope you enjoyed that one, guys. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Comments below are always welcome. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to Petrol Ped for plenty more content to come. And I'll see you on the next film. But for now, take care, drive safe, and enjoy the Alfa Romeo 33 Stradale.